Hey guys, welcome to Orwell, Ignorance is Strength. My name is Soak and I'll be your Orwell agent for the next half hour or so. If you need anything from me, please feel free to drop a comment down below. Otherwise, let's kick it off. Orwell, Ignorance is Strength is the sequel to Orwell, in which you play an Orwell agent tasked with the security of the nation. We are basically given full access to everyone's dirty laundry within the nation. Their text messages, their internet activity, phone calls, social media profiles, and we're to determine suspects and trying to solve sort of a terrorist activity. In the first game we had to resolve a bombing, and little tidbit, Orwell is actually the first game that I used to practice before I started my Let's Play channel. I didn't actually complete the playthrough and uploaded it, unfortunately, but I do have the save file on my computer nonetheless. Anyway, let's continue, and you can see for yourself what the game is all about. It kind of reminds me of TV show Person of Interest, which was a really awesome TV show, and it's got some great talking and discussion points, sort of balance between security and privacy, and how far should we go in terms of giving up our privacy to keep ourselves safe. Anyway, select the profile picture. Unfortunately, the profile picture I had last game was not on here, of course, because I sort of violated the program and betrayed it. So we're just going to have to pick one here, a different one. I'm going to go with this guy. He looks somewhat like me, somewhat not, like 3 or 4 out of 10 like me. Name, my name is Soak. Unfortunately, I cannot include an exclamation mark in my birth name. That's okay. You may now enter your email address, and you can contact me as well on this email address if you have any questions. So.whack@gmail.com. Entering your email address will allow us to inform you about updates on your case. Sure, that's great. Thank you. Be diligent. Your duty is to safeguard the nation. Please agree to the following terms. Step 303. I am willing to severely affect the lives of citizens and non-citizens of the nation. I will do whatever is necessary to keep the nation from harm. While working, I will only adhere to the statutes and principles of the office. I agree to the terms stated above. Please don't come back to me if there are any typos and that nullifies the agreement. My sort of oath. Thank you for ensuring the safety of the nation's people. Thank you for heeding the call of the office. Agent Investigator pairing. Oh look, it's my picture from the first game. You wouldn't know. I would. He's the guy who sort of betrayed the Orwell program. Agent Investigator pairing. The following investigators are available for pairing. Okay, cool. So that's nice. Assigned case Bonton bombings. His name was also Soak. He's my twin. Probably my dad. I'm Soak Jr. Let's carry on. Aptitude test. In order to qualify for special duty within Orwell, take the aptitude test is mandatory. The test requires you to complete a set of tasks, follow the on-screen instructions carefully, and answer truthfully to the best of your beliefs. Note that an insufficient test result will disqualify you for special duty permanently. Uh-oh. Better look good. Which of the following statements are true to your attitude? Drag and drop at least one of the highlighted statements into the answer sheet on the left of the screen. Note your choices are permanent. Okay. At least one. We don't have to drag them all, which is great news, because I'm going to tell them what they want to hear. I want to get into this program, man. We don't want to be sort of being honest. It's a shady program to begin with. I want to protect people from harm. This is a genuine answer. Of course, I don't want any chaos. I want to keep people alive here. I want to make the nation a safer place. And sure, I want to be a pioneer in the most advanced security program. I definitely do not like spying on people or am in it for the money, but hey, you know what? I have to make a living, and spying on people is a necessity to keep this nation safe, alright? So those are my answers. Let's continue. Which of the following persons do you consider likely of having committed a crime? Ooh, so we're profiling now, okay. Drag and drop data chunks into the answer sheet on the left of the screen. Note that your choices are permanent. I'm not comfortable with this. I do not like profiling based on appearance. If I had to say, this guy looks guilty as hell, but I'm not going to drag anything. I'm just going to move on, because we're not going to profile based on appearance, we're going to profile based on the facts, okay? basically what we find, what we can dig up. Task 3, which of the following statements do you consider to be true, if any? An unjust law can and should be violated. There's no such thing as a justified lie. Ooh, there are two sides to every story. Definitely believe that one. There's always two sides to every story. Whether people pursue them or not is another thing entirely. A government should safeguard the citizens by any means necessary. Absolute truth exists. Well, it does. I mean, this... Oh, does it? I don't know. But an unjust law can and should be violated. If it's unjust, yes. Lawmakers should not be making unjust laws. I mean, laws should be just. There could be justified lies for security reasons, for example. Government should safeguard the citizens by any means necessary. That doesn't mean people should be stuck in their homes with the military patrolling the streets. Absolute truth exists. I was about to select this, but I don't know, does it really? Let's ask Jen Smith when we have the time on Twitter. Otherwise, let's continue. Given the choice, would you prefer to have your medical record or your dating profile investigated? Drag and drop one of the conflicted data chunks to the left into the answer sheet on the left of the screen. No, you can only pick one and your choice is permanent. This is the sort of turning points in your investigation where the road sort of splits. When you have two conflicting information, you have to choose one. Let's see. I don't really know. I mean, both somewhat empty. I don't have a dating profile, and my medical record, I don't have anything special. I suppose my medical record, sure. I can find out my well-being and health and how many energy drinks I drink per day in the past, which will probably have a negative effect in the long run. Otherwise, let's continue. This is basically more of a tutorial as well, rather than just profiling me. Which information from your medical profile would you give to an investigator willingly? Size and weight. I don't really have any active prescriptions. I'd be hesitant to give that. Past conditions and history. Pictures and information from a full body scan. This is just what I would do. Obviously people have their different tastes. I don't see any harm in giving those over. Probably active prescriptions I would not. That can definitely be sort of manipulated and twisted. Current fitness parameters, I really don't know what that is. I also believe that can be twisted as well, so let's just leave that. Those three should be fine. Confronted with the situation below, which action would you take? Whew, oh man, these dilemmas, you're going to find out the real me. Your best friend boasts about having been accepted into Orwell since you are working for Orwell as yourself. You know that talking about your job is punishable by imprisonment. Oh no. This might affect my employment. Without saying anything, my friend, I informed the national authorities of the next possibility. Probably not. I warned my friend Okay, no, I wouldn't do that. I'd do this one. Feign ignorance, but hint my friend talking about such a delicate job might not be advisable, or do nothing about it. Probably not that. I know Orwell will be watching, so I would feign ignorance, but hint my friend talking about such a delicate job may not be advisable. I'm trying to save his life. Save his life, or, you know, prevent him from getting in trouble, while also keeping myself out of it. Oh no! Insufficient results, you failed the aptitude test, you'll be disqualified permanently. The office has rejected you as an agent for special duty due to your answers in the aptitude test, but if you ask for it, the test shall be reset and you'll be given another chance. Ooh, yes. Forgive me, my choices were poor, let me redo the test.
Hello, O'Brien. Is that you?
I have to disappoint you.
Vhart? Raban Vhart? How? After all this time? I didn't think you'd...
Remember what you did? Again, I must disappoint you. I've not been blessed with a short memory.
Vhart, Raban, listen. It wasn't me. I don't know anything about what happened there. That's the truth.
Truth. See, I never had much regard for the Bible, but there's one remarkable, groundbreaking moment. Before being sentenced to death, Jesus goes on and on about being a witness for the truth. But Pilate defies him with the simplest of all questions. What is truth? It is this particular question I've been pondering over for a very long time now how much of the information ending up on our screens every single day has passed through so many other minds before, each one with their own bias and agenda. It is all cut down to size, proportioned, ready to be consumed, and yet we greedily swallow it all in blissful ignorance, because our hunger is unending.
Stop the nonsense and get to the point. What do you want?
To ask you a question. What is truth?
I don't understand.
Now you're the disappointing one. You of all people should, Oleg B. There is only one thing about truth that is certain. Truth is dead. As you soon will be.
What? Why? You? How did you manage? How? Vhart! Vhart!
Ooh, heavy little intro there. Thank God we could redo the test. We are here to protect the nation. Everyone stay calm. Episode 1, Thesis. Oh, I'm so excited. April 13, 2017. Ampleford. So you think you can redo the aptitude test just like that? That's either downright naive, or you are willing to shift the truth to your liking. You might be exactly whom I need. My name is Ampleford. I'm a part of a special division within the government, the office. We get called in for the delicate matters. A man named Oleg B disappeared a couple of days ago. The last we heard of him was the call I just played to you. I've added a transcript of that dialogue to your reader tool. You can read it again, or listen to the recording. When you're done, open the unknown person profile to the left. Alright, so we couldn't actually do the aptitude test, but she's happy. I guess that was the final test. So we've got the transcript here of that phone call we just heard. Oleg B is the guy in blue, and he's the guy in red, and Raban Vhart is the guy in blue. He had a bit of a lecture to give, and Oleg B has gone missing. So we heard all this in the cutscene, so let's click on unknown person. Since you are paired with an investigator, I will assume you're familiar with the procedure and spare you most technicalities. For starters, upload Oleg B's name from the transcript to his file by dragging it into the profiler on the left. So as we go through the game, we can get sort of data chunks which will be highlighted in blue just like in the test. We can choose what we want to drag and drop into Orwell, as a little system. Sometimes there'll be some fluff and that we don't really want, or some blatantly fake information that we don't want to throw in there because that might throw off the investigation. Ampleford, she can only see what I drag in, so we definitely want to keep her up to date and not give her garbage, garbage in, garbage out. Anyway, Oleg B, let's chuck his name in here. Cool, and you see his name is updated. Good. This profile is now primed on Oleg B. Now other data chunks related to this person might appear. Check the transcript for newly found data chunks. Cool, and as soon as we update that, we get more information. So there's another one down below here. Truth is dead, as you soon will be. Oleg B was threatened with death. He surely was. One related document found. That's an odd thing to say, isn't it? We're taking that as a death threat, as did the National Beholder. Alright, and as we throw in information, related documents may come through, whether these are different websites or web pages, so we can go and explore that. Bookmarks show us sort of different websites where we can grab things. The National Beholder, of course, is the national newspaper, I believe. Is anti-Cass Art blog involved in Pargesian soldiers' disappearance? I don't know. Is it? The National Beholder is the most respectable news site in the nation. You may browse their headlines freely to get informed. The recording of the call you heard ended up in their newsroom. Why? That's a piece of the puzzle we're missing right now. However, this article is a good starting point for our investigation on Oleg B. To proceed, please adapt his picture and profession. Cool, let's get a face to the name here. There he is. Lovely. Not exactly the most tender smile, but that's not what we're here for after all. Of course. Recorded call indicates direct involvement of blog The People's Voice in the disappearance of Pargesian Army officer Oleg B. Trifolith/Bonton, an audio recording of a phone conversation between Pargesian, I need to get that word right, Pargesian Army Officer Oleg B and Raban Vhart was leaked to the National Beholder late Monday evening. Raban Vhart is known as the editor-in-chief and founder of the highly controversial blog The People's Voice. In the ominous recording, which has since been verified by experts, the editor directly threatens the officer, claiming that B would be dead soon. In the light of B.K.'s recent disappearance, experts have developed a theory that the blog might be directly involved in, or may otherwise have incited the incident. The fact that the recording was leaked by an anonymous source to the National Beholder has been interpreted as a direct threat to the Cassart administration of the Parges and their alliance with the nation, which the blog openly and aggressively opposes. Interesting, interesting. So we have two data chunks here. He is a Pargesian army officer. As an occupation. One other document found. As you see, Oleg B is an important figure in the Parges army, our neighboring country. We are very concerned about his fate. I suppose we are, if we are investigating it. Phone conversation between Pargesian Army Officer Oleg B and Raban Vhart. He spoke to Raban Vhart in a telephone call, last point of contact before his disappearance, and we create a new profile as well for Raban Vhart. Helpful indeed. Upload complete. Raban Vhart. That's the name that Oleg B mentioned during the call. Yes, we all heard it. It was very obvious back in the beginning. Let's focus on B for the moment. We'll get back to Vhart in a second. Cool. We got access to his file, which only came up once we put down that he was an officer. Welcome, Army of the Parges. He's a captain. Interesting. Let's grab that info. Agent, you may have noticed by now that for every data check you upload, 10 minutes of time pass due to Orwell's extensive search algorithms. Oh really? That's a new feature. The events around us will unfold whether or not we are making progress on our case. Keep this in mind. Alright, so we need to start being more careful then. If time does pass, we want to make sure we get important information across before the needless little bits of trivia. Do we need his call sign? Maybe. He might be referred to it. Good to have. Janus. How fitting. He still goes by this call sign. I'm granting you access to our database, which you should have a look at. You'll understand it better after you see the files. Lovely. He has served from 2006 to today, which is 2017, so 11 years. Affiliation, 1st Infantry Division Prava. Specialization, Field Artillery Officer, Medal of Honor. 2006. Volunteered for military service. Basic combat training completed. He was assigned for protection of Prava from the ongoing threat through anti-government group Forces of True Parges during Prava Civil War. He's promoted to corporal within a year, sergeant within another year, awarded Medal of Honor for saving civilians. Wow. Wounded in combat, officially absent from service in 2010. 2012, returned, reinstated as captain by privileged command. 2015, in charge of 1st Infantry Division Prava. 2017, worked with 1st Law Enforcement Battalion of the Army of the Nation, training local forces in Prava. Wow, he's a very decorated man. Also have access to the search database. Let's leave the profile for now. I don't want any more time to pass. Thankfully, time just stops unless we throw things into the database. While yes, we are in fact worried about our relations with Parges because of B, you will see that the whole truth is more complex. As you're not a simple investigator, you have access to an Orwell build designed to meet the specific needs of the office. We can utilize the data stored in the profiler on the left to circumvent certain restrictions that would otherwise bar us from making progress. Make good use of this ability within our database and the data stored in B's profile so far to solve my little mystery. Okay, so we have access to his call sign. Janus. Janus. There we go. You did it. Well done. I'll leave you to your well-deserved info for a moment to truly understand why this case is so precarious. Alright, let's find out why it's so precarious. He looks a bit tidier there. I could throw in a new portrait, but that's just going to cost us time. I think that's okay, I guess. I mean, he does look a little bit different. Maybe we should tuck it in. Cool. In case you're wondering, yes, that really is the same person. I was not wondering. I'm fully aware that there's this thing called shaving, and it exists. Date of birth, May 4th, 1979. He's Pargesian. His address is redacted, department redacted, assignment confidential informant. Ooh, okay. He's a double agent. He's got a registered device, a mobile phone. Definitely want to get access to that. Notes tends to use names of people close to him as passwords. This has been strongly discouraged, but so far ignored by the subject. Let's grab his phone. Luckily, Bakay is using one of our registered phone devices to communicate with us. It seems to be online right now. You can access it using the Insider tool, which I'll unlock for you now. Cool. That's exactly what I want, to get into his phone records. Tends to use name of people close to him as passwords. This is an important bit of information. Of course, we do inspect and observe the habits of our agents. What did you expect? I expect nothing less from the nation, considering we have this complicated system called Orwell. Let's go check out his phone. Of course, Bakay has locked his phone with our own encryption tool. I'm afraid not even Orwell can break that. Really? You'll have to do this the old-fashioned way, by finding and applying Bakay's key. See if you can find a hint to discover his password. You may have to dig a little deeper to uncover it though, so it may be advisable to check other resources first. Okay, so we do know that he likes to use the names of people close to him. But who is close to him is another thing entirely. What else have we got? I mean, we do have his friend, Vhart. I think that'll be his password though. Suppose we should get his assignment in there. Yes, Bakay is our informant, placed inside the Pargesian army for years, now vanished into thin air. You surely grasp the danger this poses should it ever come out. We need to understand what happened, and then possibly retrieve him, or contain the damage. To get to the bottom of this, we'll have to investigate the person who called him last, Raban Vhart. We already found a trace to him before on the Beholder. I'll turn Vhart into a target person now. Time to pick up from there. There he is. Alright, let's start seeing if we can find information on Mr. Vhart. When I switch target persons, there'll be new data chunks that appear. Some of them still relate to good old Janice or Oleg B, but we'll leave those for now. Raban Vhart is known as the editor-in-chief and founder of the highly controversial blog, The People's Voice. That's going to be his occupation. There we go, probably the blog itself. The People's Voice, we've heard of them. This preposterous news site has people rallying for protests in Parges for years. Judging by that call, Raban Vhart and Oleg B seem well acquainted, even if it isn't the most friendly relationship apparently. Your task here is twofold, Agent. First and foremost, we are to locate Oleg B. Then, in order to understand whether Vhart is behind Bakay's disappearance, we need to find out what connects the two in the first place. True. Alright, let's go find out the People's Voice. Saying out loud what needs to be said. One more thing before I let you roam freely. Remember that we are bound to the division of powers defined by the Ethical Codex. You're now leaving uncharted territory as far as I'm concerned, and I have to rely on the data you upload to make my calls. Doubt anything you read, especially when it comes to the People's Voice. Don't give me wrong info to work with. I'm counting on you. Exactly. We don't want to give her fake information. She might, you know, overreact. Hashtag save Parges. The nation burns again. 3 people are murdered because of Blaine's incompetence. But guess who will be blamed? Oh god. President Puppet stops re-election plans. Hold Cassart accountable for breaking his word, in all caps, about us. We're an independent collective devoted to providing you with the facts that mainstream media outlets try to hide. Raban Vhart, editor-in-chief. There we go, we've got a picture. That's what he looks like. He looks crazy, man. Editors, we strive to publish the truth. We've got Illya Vhart, lead editor, probably a brother. Shannon Carrillo, media watchdog, and Daniel Buchanan, field reporter for Parges. Supported through donations is a non-profit organization. We are funded solely through donations. People's Voice is supported by the Angels of the Nation Network, a volunteer team who provide development assistance in Parges. Get in touch, reach out to our editor-in-chief, Raban Vhart, at raban@tpb.par. Peoplesvoice.parges, I guess. Cool. Very good. This will allow you to observe his work email account through the listener tool. Once Raban Vhart receives an email or sends one through that account, you'll be notified and able to read it. Good. Good, good, good. That's what I like. The nation burns again. Let's find out more. Blood runs the streets of the nation as it sees itself confronted with the next big act of terror right in its heart, the capital Bonton. 3 people have been brutally massacred right under the government's ever so watchful eye, and much to the surprise of all media outlets. It didn't surprise me, not one bit. I believe this is related to the Bonton bombings that we... yeah, it is. Freedom Plaza. This was published today. Cool, 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 cool. Oh, is this taking place at the same time, I wonder, as the previous game? I can't quite remember what the date was back then. In any case, you all know it, even though no one dares to speak out. The nation, its corrupt leadership, and all of that deluded flock who elected them carry the weight of the Freedom Plaza bombing victims upon their shoulders. Their false promises of safety have finally been unmasked for what they really are, a means to put themselves in power and upload their reign of terror. What a farce this country is. Thanks to the people's voice and our efforts to get the facts out to the people, the situation in the nation has recently been rather calm. Still, there is no doubt that head puppet master Blaine will point his finger towards us Pargesians. Exactly this has been happening for years, dating all the way back to the so-called incident in 2008 when the entire Pargesian people were blamed by the party. Here's what I say to that. As long as Blaine and Cassart remain in power, the best thing the nation can do is what it's actually doing right now. Burning to the ground. Oof. He's got some outspoken ideals, doesn't he? What have we got here in terms of a data chunk? Blames assault on Freedom Plaza on the government. Has actively calmed the situation in the nation recently. Okay, I think I can't even put into words how wrong that was. He actually believes it's him that has sort of calmed the nation down. If I plop that in there, our agent handler is going to be like, WTF, so whack, why are you giving me this fake news? Which is actually, I think, a theme of this game. He blames the assault on Freedom Plaza on the government. That's something that can be twisted. Let's leave that out for now. Let's see what else he's got on the blog. President Puppet stops re-election plans. Really? Rejoice, re-elections at last. This was your thinking last week as much as it was mine. Finally, years of torment will come to an end. But no! All of a sudden, President Puppet has taken a big step back from the promise to hold re-elections. Now he acts like he never even knew it was expected, let alone that he's the one who had announced it to the public. He must either be suffering from a severe case of dementia or simply be a liar. Does President Cassart think we're downright stupid? How does he even dare? We're not blind. We're not deaf. For all we know, Cassart is being controlled by the nation's shady administration, the deep state. We'll oppose this. Cassart and his puppeteer Blaine must be held accountable for their repeated crimes against the Pargesian people. They've betrayed and bled out our poor country for far too long already. This is a call to arms. Stand up and march the streets of Triflith tomorrow. Updates on this via our Blabber account at People's Voice. Wow. A lot of strong words there, all capitalized. Oof. Man. This is like your little typical Reddit echo chamber, isn't it? It's like the Donald on subreddit. He believes Pargesian President Cassart to be nation-controlled. Okay, let's leave that for now. We definitely want access to this Blabber account. It's called to take to the streets of Triflith on April 12, 2017, which was yesterday. And he said, let there be riots. And there were riots. Mm-hmm. How did this man gain such an immense influence over his followers? He tells them what they want to hear. That's what he does. Unfortunately, I didn't do that when I tried to pass my Aptitude test. People's Voice reaction to is anti-Cassart blog involved in Pargesians... in Pargesian soldiers' disappearance. Sorry, I'm so tired right now. I should not be investigating while sleepy. Things could go wrong. The lone Triflith survivor at Survivor94. At People's Voice, what did you mean when you said Oleg B would not be missed? Did you retire him? Answer to Survivor94 People's Voice. This is a misunderstanding. I'm not happy either that Oleg B has gone missing. This soldier is not the one to blame here. One thing is certain, Oleg B will certainly not be missed. Okay, so there we go. That's our conflicting information. Is unhappy about Oleg B's disappearance. But then yet it says here on the same day, is satisfied with Oleg B having disappeared. Interesting. This article is ridiculous propaganda, just like your blog, my friend. Mainstream media has been manipulating your thoughts since the dawn of humanity. Time to get rid of this enemy. He views mainstream media as enemy. That just leads to the National Beholder. Okay, alright. He definitely views mainstream media as an enemy. Let's get that. We need to understand his thought process. We need to sort of profile him based on his personality, not on his looks. Now that's a classic one. Demonize the free press, straight from the dictator's guide to supreme rule. Oh, we've got a message. Good luck. From unknown person to Raban Vhart. Subject, good luck. Raban, so I see you have decided to make use of my gift to you. A good choice. I'm of the impression everything will come to pass exactly as I anticipated. Good luck, and I hope you will achieve our common goals. Your fan, David Johns. So he's got a fan, the name of David Johns, related profile. Let's chuck that in there. There we go. A fan. Cute. I wonder how many of those he has. Okay, we need to decide here. Is he happy that Oleg B has gone missing? We don't know who's actually running this blabber account. It could be Raban, in which case if we listen to that phone call, he definitely sounds like he's not missing him. I think we need a bit more information before we can sort of decide what we want to upload there. That's BK's profile. Let's head back into the blog. Is there anything else here that might give us some information? It's being funded by donations from Angels of the Nation. Interesting. Supported by a national donation network. If we were to prove that Raban Vhart is using the donations for something harmful, we could pull the plug on him. Okay. Oleg B. Now, the question is, does he know that Oleg B. is a double agent? Got a little bit of extra lore here. History of Army of the Parges, history of bravery. Our forces have a long tradition of protecting the Pargesian country and our values courageously and relentlessly. The Pargesian army as it exists today was formed by General Demjan Kasart as he freed Parges from the oppressive Fiad regime in 2004. He's the leader, isn't he? One of the leaders of the Parges. In spite of the successful re-establishment of peace and freedom in Parges, evil forces still threaten the Pargesian people. The hate group Forces of True Parges, FTP, caused a new conflict in 2006 by evoking a civil war among Pargesian citizens using hate speech and propaganda to pull the shaken people of Parges on their side. In spite of the Pargesian army successfully defeating the renegade group in 2008 with the help of the National Army, the guerrilla war remained and peaked in the attack on our allies the nation in form of the incident in 2008. The goal was to promote fear against Parges and Pargesian citizens and cause civil unrest between two nations. The Blaine administration of the nation then returned to help Parges control the troubling situation in regards to the FTP in our country. I see. So there was a bit of civil war. We've lost access to Oleg B's profile. Maybe we'll grab a little bit more here. A little bit on his history. He's affiliated with the 1st Infantry Division Prava. Oops, let's switch target person. Oh, I don't think we can. Can we? No, we can, yeah. This might help us find sort of affiliated persons. But nothing has come up, unfortunately. He's received a Medal of Honor for saving civilians. Oh yes, Oleg B is a Paragon of Honor. There we go. A supporter? Pretty unspecific, huh? I see you found your first non-target person. Good. Orwell, keep track of them, but no data chunks or new documents for them will appear. I must authorize them to become a target person first, and I will only do so if I feel it is necessary. So we can only get data chunks for Mr. David Johns if he becomes the target person. In this case, right now, I believe the target person is Raban Vhart. And we did have a target person of Oleg B in the past. Good luck. David, thank you for your ongoing support and your kind words as always. You have proven yourself to be a true supporter of our cause. You'll want to watch the news, I have no doubt. There will be a great stir very soon. Ooh, that's interesting. For all we know, this guy's been trying to cook up a large-scale stir for years. I don't see it happening quite yet. Yes, he has succeeded to some extent, I guess that's what it's supposed to say, with the ongoing riots, but we can keep the situation under control. Alright. So he's just, you know, some little stuff here and there, I guess. Crime rate continues to drop. The Ministry of Security has presented the latest numbers on crime statistics in the country. Never before there have been so few violent crimes. Delacroix gave a press conference earlier this morning. Yes, I remember her. Bonton, on Thursday morning, the Ministry of Security published the new crime statistic report for the preceding year. According to the report, the number of recorded criminal offences decreased by 4.8% in comparison to last year. The crime rates have been continuously declining over the past several years as a result of the implementation of the Safety Bill. Secretary of Security Catherine Delacroix appeared very pleased by these numbers and declared this development an outstanding result of successful safety policy. When confronted with the recent assault in Bonton, she once again admitted the ambitious goals of the government have not yet been accomplished. She further mentioned that the activities are currently being established, which will have a considerable impact preventing further incidents. This is the safety bill passing and crime, of course, reducing. This was all in the first game. It's exactly the same. Sure, I'll read it for you guys. Why not? The Safety Bill is a collection of safety-centered laws and statutes created with the ultimate goal to protect the freedom of the nation's citizens. Central to the Safety Bill is the simplified, sped-up process of taking investigative measures against criminal suspects and their prosecution, as well as the provision of an increased budget for safety-related expenses. The Safety Bill also paved the way for stricter regulations concerning immigration and general travel into or transiting through the nation. It also became mandatory to inform employers whenever an applicant or employee is an ex-convict or otherwise regarded potentially dangerous. Since the Safety Bill has come into effect in 2011, the total number of acts of crime and terrorism committed have been decreasing continuously, and the trend is ongoing to date. The Parges peacekeeping mission. The terrorist incident of 2008 was the terrible consequence of the premature retreat of our troops from Parges, a region torn by civil unrest for years by the order of the previous government. To fix our predecessors' mistakes, the party, when elected in 2009, immediately made preparations to send our highly reliable soldiers back to safeguard the region for the good of the inhabitants of both countries alike. After the Parges peacekeeping mission had been signed in 2011, our troops were sent off to the neighbouring country to perform tasks including the distribution of aid packages containing food in addition to health and hygiene products to the mostly impoverished population, rebuilding of infrastructure, particularly hospitals and schools, upholding the law and public order alongside the removal of war relics such as anti-personnel mines or unexploded bombshells, training local police and military forces. Due to a recent stabilization in the Parges, we have been able to reduce the number of stationed forces while leaving the overall goals of the peacekeeping mission intact. So the Parges has definitely been ravaged, and the nation, by order of the party, this is a nation of nouns, ordered a peacekeeping mission. We went over there, helped clean up, much more successful than Iraq and Afghanistan, apparently. That's what they're saying. Anyway, we've got more information on the party and the nation. Robert Blaine is the Prime Minister. There we go. A bit of context as to the name Blaine, which Vhart has been mentioning in his blog. Catherine Delacroix, we met her in the last game. We'll continue this next time. We'll explore more of the party's options, and I will resolve the dilemma of which contradictory information to plop into Orwell from the People's Voice blabber. But thank you guys so much for joining me on this first episode of Orwell, Ignorance is Strength. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Can't wait to explore further and abuse my powers. I mean, sorry, I know you're listening, Ampleford. That is not true. Anyway, take care guys, goodbye.